Hey gorgeous, I'm back. It's Reese here from Yes Supply. I'm the founder of Yes Supply and a trainer of NLP, EFT, Hypnosis, life and success coaching, and regression techniques to help you live a life that's rigged in your favor. We're having a really exciting summer. Right now I'm in Paris. Next I'm going to Barcelona. In a few weeks I'm going to LA to volunteer at a really cool NLP trainers training. We're building a new office, so lots of cool stuff is happening and I love to take you behind the scenes. And then in September, drum roll please, we have our next Yes Supply Method training, and it's always so fun to watch the behind the scenes. So head to instagram.com/YesSupply or follow me on Instagram at YesSupply to get in on all the goodness. Let me share with you how it happened. How did I get to go to Paris for free? When I was 18 years old, I had no money. I didn't really have great French. I had never traveled internationally by myself. I traveled to California when I was like 4 or 5 with my mom, but then after that I hadn't traveled. Really, the odds were against me. And when you hear how everything came together, it's such a good example of how life is always working out for us in our favor, but it's up to us to ask for what it is that we want. And I think too many people know exactly what they don't want. They know that they don't want that relationship, or they don't want to work at that job they don't like, or they don't want to be in debt anymore. But it's very few people who know with crystal clear clarity what it is that they do want. That's something that I teach in the Yes Supply method, because it's that vision, creating that crystal clear vision of what it is that you want, that will actually send that message out to the universe and help things rearrange so that you can have it in your reality. So how did it happen? It's so funny because when I was in elementary school, I actually hated French. I hated going to French class. I didn't understand it. I didn't pay attention. I would just stare at the clock and wait for class to finish. And the big reason why is because I had this teacher who was I was just not a fan of her. Her name was Madame Sauer. Her name perfectly illustrated the type of person that she is. Leave me a comment below if you've ever had a crazy or mean teacher who probably shouldn't have been a teacher, who might have not made class as fun as it could have been. I feel like it's a very special type of person who should be a teacher, and I think one of the top prerequisites is that you should actually like other humans and you should actually like kids. I had this teacher called Madame Sauer, and it felt like every single class she would say something along the lines of, never in all my years of teaching have I ever met a class who was so insert negative, rude, mean thing here. So I hated French. I thought it was terrible. I just wasn't into it. Then when I was in grade 6, I moved to the other side of the city, and then I started high school. Grade 9 in Ontario, Canada, where I live, was the last year where it is mandatory to take French. So I was like, thank God, it's the last year, then I'm out, I never have to do this anymore. And then I met the most beautiful teacher ever. Her name was Madame Marcello. I don't know what it was about her. It was her energy. She was so kind. She was amazing, and she made me fall in love with French. And because of her, I actually ended up taking French all the way through high school and became obsessed with it. And to this day, I love French. When high school was over, at that time, I was also obsessed with fashion, and something deep inside of me was telling me, you have to go to Paris. You have to spend time in Paris. But I didn't know how. I don't even know if I had a passport at the time. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't have any money. I just didn't have a way. But I knew that I wanted it. And a few years earlier, I had watched The Secret. And so I knew that if you hold the vision in your mind, you can make it come into reality. I held the vision of me going to Paris. And the idea, the thought came into my head, what if I became a nanny? I don't even know where the idea came from, but maybe I Googled like ways to move to Paris for free. I don't know, but the idea showed up to me that I was going to become a nanny. So I did a little bit of researching, and then I ended up going into my high school and asking my French teacher if she knew any way that this could be possible. Like, how do you become a nanny? What do you have to do? How do you find a family? How much do I pay? I was asking her all these questions. I was trying to figure out if she knew an agency or a way to get connected. And this is where the world that we live in, our thoughts, our vibration, our heart centers create miracles, because at the very moment that I just so happened to be chatting with her in the room, my chemistry teacher happened to be in the room, and she overheard the conversation and she goes, "Wait, you want to become a nanny?" And I was like, yeah. And she's like, "My brother lives in Paris, or lives just outside of Paris, and he's looking for a nanny, and he wants someone who's English speaking." And I was like, hello. So I got so lucky, because typically, or a lot of the time, if you become a nanny, you have to go with a random family that you don't know. Sometimes they don't pay you that great, sometimes they don't treat you that great. But because I got to go through a connection, they treated me wonderfully. They paid me pretty much at the top of what you get paid as a nanny, but I didn't have to cook or clean or anything like that. I just had to hang out with the baby pretty much from 9 to 5 every day. It was an amazing experience. I met this beautiful friend who lived down the street named Sylvana. We became little nanny friends. We would go into Paris together on the the train. And we would just like go to parties, go grab a coffee, check out the sights, go to the Louvre, go to the opera, all these beautiful, beautiful places. And I got a really amazing French experience. And I was only there for 3 months, but it was so memorable. It was so life-changing for me. And it taught me that if there's something that you want, you don't need to know how you're going to get it. You just need to decide that you are going to get it. Now, that doesn't mean you never need to know how. Eventually, I figured out I'm going to become a nanny because of my chemistry teacher's brother. When you're first starting, too many people say, "Oh, I really want this. Oh, but I don't know how." They let their past results define their future. They let their past report cards define their future grades. They let their past money situation define their future earnings. And I want to share with you this very important lesson, that you cannot change your reality from thinking from the past by letting who you used to be and what you used to do define your future. Albert Einstein said we cannot solve a problem from the same level of thinking that created it. And Buckminster Fuller said, "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." And that's exactly what I teach in the Yes Supply method, and that's exactly what I want to share with you. If you don't like what's currently happening in your life, don't keep focusing on it and complaining about it, because it's powering your subconscious mind to create more of what you don't want. Get clear on what it is that you do want. I got clear that I wanted to live in Paris before I knew how I was going to do it. I want you to get clear on what does it look like when you've created your yes. What is the new model of reality that you're going to step into? And when you have faith that it will show up, and you have faith in yourself that you'll figure it out, and you're willing to put yourself in circumstances that you might not have been in before, you're willing to trust yourself that you will figure it out, that you will step up to the challenge, that you can become that next level version of you, beautiful things will start to shift, and amazing things will start to happen to allow you to create the reality of your dreams. So I hope that this little story helped you really, really think about creating a new model of what you want for your life, and also hearing how I got to live in Paris the first time, and now I'm here again staying in a beautiful hotel, view of the Eiffel Tower, view of the Arc de Triomphe, absolutely having such a great week. So excited to tour more of Europe. So if you want to keep up with me, again, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and click the notification bell so you get notified when I come out with new videos. I love you so much. So if this story inspired you, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. If you love more stories like this, I have lots of things that I've gone through that I've learned from, and I'm so excited to share them with you. So make sure to watch more of my videos, and I'm so excited to see you in the next one. And remember that life is always rigged in your favor.